Book of the Dead, Magic and Theology, The Mysteries of Osiris. The myth of Osiris. While there is a great number of images and text passages instantly recognizable as pertaining to the myth and mysteries of Osiris, there is hardly anything approaching what we would call a narrative, a continuous and consistent account of the fate of Osiris. The most comprehensive presentation of the myth attested in Egyptian sources is preserved on a stela now in the Louvre in Paris, dating to the earlier part of the 18th dynasty, 1550 إلى 1295 BC. Coherent accounts we owe to classical authors, first and foremost Plutarch. The narration included in his book The OSIRIS, written in the early 2nd century informs our concept of the myth of Osiris. Many details are confirmed by native sources, lending credence to other, yet unsubstantiated points. Sketching the myth in its barest outlines and following the mainstream version, Osiris, king of Egypt and husband to his sister Isis, was killed by their younger brother Seth, husband to the fourth sibling, Nephthys. As Osiris and Isis had no offspring yet, the throne was for Seth to take once Osiris was out of the way. There are several versions of how Seth disposed of the body of his brother, all resulting with it ending up on the banks of the Nile. Isis, distraught, searched the whole land, supported by Nephthys who had disassociated herself from Seth and his cause. Having finally recovered Osiris, his body was brought to the safety of an embalming hall where, by means of lament, recitation of glorifications, and embalming, he was revived to a state enabling him and Isis to create an heir, Horus. Osiris, in his new state as an august mummy, neither ultimately dead nor fully alive, became king of the netherworld. Horus, while still a child, was hidden and protected by Isis and Nephthys. Having grown up, he contended with the usurper and murderer Seth, eventually, by combat and by court decision, obtaining victory and the throne of Egypt. Seth's murderous act is hardly ever addressed in a straightforward fashion, in order to avoid lending enduring reality to it. Therefore, for instance, the Louvre stela account begins rather abruptly with Isis looking desperately for her brother, the murder being an implied precondition. The text of the myth is preceded by two significant sections. The first, taking up the first half of the stela, is an extensive hymn to Osiris, emphasizing his qualities as a sovereign and warrior, with great strength when he fells the rebels and kills the enemy, who casts his terror among his foes, who reaches the farthest limits of evil, whose heart is firm when he crushes the enemies. The second section is a short passage praising Isis as his guard, who drives off his foes, who stops the deeds of the disturber by the power of her utterance. Both sections render apotropaic precedence to the happy outcome. The second functions moreover as a transition, bringing Isis into focus as the central agent and catalyst of the unfolding events. Had she not thoughtlessly searched for her husband and subsequently achieved the creation of Horus, there would have been no heir to the throne to challenge Seth. Several texts refer to this achievement of Isis as her having acted as a man even though she was a woman, thereby emphasizing her active role in the procreative act. A passage in a late liturgy, uttered by Isis and addressed to Osiris, neatly sums up her crucial role. I am your sister Isis. There is no god who accomplished what I accomplished, or goddess either. I acted as a man even though I am a woman, in order to make your name live on earth. Your divine seed was in my womb, and I placed him, Horus, upon the earth, so that he might defend your character, so that he might heal your suffering, so that he might inflict injury upon him who caused it. Seth has fallen to his slaughter, and the confederates of Seth are a abhorrent sacrifice. The throne of Jeb is yours, as you are his beloved son. Book